What's up, interwebs? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast. I'm Tim.
And I'm Adam.
Welcome to my channel. This is the Storytime Podcast where we go through one of my old first drafts of a novel and read a chapter. We discuss that chapter afterwards and talk about how the greatest thing it has ever been written.
It's certainly something I've read.
Yes, it's certainly something he has read. This is season 2, so we're going through Marks of Eilira, Strangers from Another World. The first book at the time of an 8-book series. And wow, we're closing in on the finals of the book.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, this chapter breaks the entire story. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Breaks the entire story. And you'll see that when we get through the chapter Adam's reading. But before we can get to Adam's reading, we got some stuff we got to take care of, Adam.
Yes, we do.
If you go on to enjoy this episode, we would love it if you'd go on and smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got writing content on this channel, which you'll be able to see at the end of the episode. But maybe you need to laugh at grown men in their 40s trying to play video games and failing. And if you do, go check out Adam's channel. Adam?
Not all of us are in our 40s, okay? Come on. There's one. Shit, there's only one. Never mind.
Oh, they're all in the 50s?
No, we're not that old. Anyway, ZOP Gaming, we put the quotes around pro.
So grown men in their 40s who are trying to play video games and failing.
We just
got it.
Just a group of friends hanging out playing games together.
Who are in their 40s and failing at playing video games. Got it. All right, now that that's out of the way, we'll get to Adam's reading of chapter 23, and then we'll be back to discuss it.
23. Stones of Time. Alkaline gently grabbed the doorknob, gave it a turn, and opened the door. Zach walked in, followed by Ryan and last Alkaline, closing the door behind him. Zach was shocked by how huge the room was, the size of this house. Directly in front of them was the balcony that extended out over the courtyard. On the west wall of their left, a huge fireplace with a roaring fire explained the sweet scent of oak wood, with a tint of smoke in the air. Right before the fireplace sat a whole furniture set of bright red couches and chairs with cushions with gold pillows laid on them. A maroon rug with golden trim lay on the floor of the room before the couch. In the far left-hand corner, a few feet from the entrance to the balcony, sat 2 silver poles that were connected by another pole on the top with a long white curtain hanging from them. Zach assumed that this was one of the changing curtains you see in the movies in the 17th century, where a woman changed behind. To their right, a large Victorian bed with gold poles, off-white silk drapes wrapped around the bed. Upon closer look, Zach noticed that someone was in the bed. The 3 walked over to the bed, and Alkaline pulled the drape back to show Violet sound asleep under a royal blue silk sheets. Zach sat down on the edge of the bed and gently reached out and touched Violet's shoulder. "Violet?" said Jack, gently shaking her. "Violet, you need to wake up." "What?" said Violet, slowly moving. "What time is it?" It doesn't matter," said Zach. "We came to free you." "What?" said Violet, eyes widening upon realization of the voice. She sat straight up with a surprised look on her face. "I am dreaming." "You're not dreaming," said Ryan. "We came to rescue you," said Zach, putting both of his hands on her shoulders. "Zach," said Violet, wrapping her arms around him and pulling him close. "I missed you too," said Zach. "We don't know how much time before the guards come back," said Alkaline. "How did you guys get in here?" asked Violet, letting go of Zach. "We can explain later," said Alkaline, turning to check the door. "You need to get your things so we can get out of here." "Okay," said Violet, pulling the sheets off her, placing both feet on the ground and standing up. Zach and Ryan just stared at her. Violet stood there in a golden silk nightgown that tied behind her neck with a low back, which fit snugly to her body. Zach and Ryan had never seen Violet before in such clothes. But it was not just that. The light from the fire hit her, lighting up her beauty with her long, wavy blonde hair that draped across her shoulders. "Why are you two looking at me that way?" asked Violet. "I've never seen you like this before," said Zach, standing up. "You're beautiful." "Really?" said Violet, blushing. "Thank you." Zach and Violet just kept looking at each other. Zach reached out and placed his hand on her cheek. Violet began to lean in as Zach leaned in. Their lips slowly got closer together bit by bit until their lips were just an inch away and were about to touch. "Not now," said Alkaline, turning back to see what was going on. "You two can do that when being discovered does not mean the possibility of our lives being lost." Zach and Violet jumped. Zach lost his balance and landed on the bed. Violet also lost her balance but caught herself after nearly falling on top of Zach. Once balanced, Violet did not hesitate. She turned and walked across the room to the curtain and walked behind it. Zach stood up and looked at Ryan, who just stared at him wide eyes. Zach knew exactly why he was like that. He was shocked he was about to kiss Violet. "You two should change too," said Alkaline. "I am not sure where the gate will open, and if you're dressed like that, someone will see you before you can change. You will have a lot of explaining to do." "All right," said Ryan. Zach pulled off his bag, dropped it on the bed, untied the top, and opened it. He reached into the bag and pulled out one pile of clothes and handed it to Ryan. Then reached in and pulled out another pile, which he dropped on the bed. Pulled off his tunic and then his chainmail. He grabbed his shirt, put his head through the top, and his right arm in slowly, not to aggravate his shoulder. Once in, he quickly put his left arm through and dropped the shirt down. Zach sat down on the bed, pulled off his boots, took off his pants, grabbed his jeans, and quickly pulled them on. Zach reached back into the bag and pulled out 2 pairs of shoes. He handed a pair to Ryan and dropped the other on the floor and stood up, slipped his feet into the shoes, and tied them tight. After just tying his shoes, he stood up and saw Violet walk out from behind, fully dressed in clothes. She now wore a pink spaghetti-strap tank top and a dark blue zip-up hoodie sweatshirt halfway zipped up. She had a denim skirt that stopped just above her knee, with a light blue flip-flops. Violet had her hair pulled back into a ponytail that wrapped around her slender neck and draped on her left shoulder. "Ready," said Ryan, turning to see if Zach was dressed. "Good," said Alkaline. "How are we going to get out of this palace?" asked Violet, walking over next to Zach. "Through a gateway," said Alkaline. "Open it," said Zach. "Remember," said Alkaline, "this gateway will open at the same location on Earth where we are now. It could be in your ocean." "Why don't you open the gate with the coin?" asked Zach. "You have the coin," said Alkaline. "It won't open while both coins are in the same world." "I don't have the coin," said Zach, searching his pockets. "I think I left it on Earth." "I'll try," said Alkaline. "That would be better." Alkaline pulled out the gold coin and placed it on the floor of the room. With the symbol faced up, he placed his hand over it, and the tribal band appeared around his wrist and all the columns of symbols. The symbol on the back of the coin lit up on Alkaline's forearm, and the symbol on the coin started to glow bright light blue. Alkaline pulled his hand away, and a spark shot from the coin, landing on the floor a few feet from him. As soon as the spark hit the floor, a bright flash erupted from the spark, causing everyone to look away. After a few moments, the light faded, and Zach turned to see a bright, light blue gateway before him. "Hurry," said Alkaline. "Right," said Zach. Zach, Ryan, and Violet walked over to the gate, and Zach pointed for Violet to go first, so she walked forward right for the gate. But Zach grabbed her and pulled her back. The force of Zach pulling her back, she lost her balance and fell onto the floor of the room with a thud. Just as she fell, a bright beam hit the gateway. Just after the beam hit, the gate collapsed and was gone. All of them turned to see where the beam came from. In the door of the room stood Lord Sphere, with the palm of his right hand opened in front of him. "Why are you leaving in such a hurry?" asked Lord Sphere. "You just got here. Get behind me," said Alkaline, grasping his sword. "No, what did I tell you the last time you tried that?" said Lord Sphere. "If you try it again, I will kill you." "You're not supposed to be here," said Alkaline. "I know," said Lord Sphere. "That is why we call this a trap. However, I will have to admit that if you are so nice in helping a little old man, I would not have known you were here or where the secret passage that DeMarcus used was, so thank you." "How does he know about the old man?" asked Ryan. "He must have turned instead of going straight, said Zach. Why don't you ask him yourself, said Lord Sphere. As they were speaking, the old man walked into the room without any guards. As he walked, he was not the same. He no longer walked like an old man, but straight. But that was not all. After a few steps, he was no longer an old man, but in his place stood Gamgee, with a huge grin on his face. If you did not let me out, said Gamgee, grinning, I would not have been able to tell Lord Sphere you were here and where you were going. Funny, I was at your disposal. You could have gotten me to tell you where Violet was before you even opened the door, and then left me in my cell. I would have done anything to get out since I was down there for 3 days. Zach stood there, stunned, along with everyone else. He could not believe he let out Gamgee, who knew exactly where they were going, as he thought it was just too good that the guards walked away from the door as they arrived. It was all a setup to get them to one spot so they could spring their trap at any time. How could Gamgee appear as an old man? Asked Zach. Lord Sphere used the forbidden magic to make me change my shape, said Gamgee. He did not make me old, so I had to act and walk like someone in the dungeon for a long time. Great job, said Ryan. You should win an Oscar for that performance. A what? Asked Gamgee. Enough, said Lord Sphere. Now, where are the stones of time? We all know that it was just a trick so you could hunt us down, shouted Ryan. You knew the stones were not real, so you sent us after them because you wanted to have the fun of hunting us. Only been in Eilira for a few days and you've already figured me out, said Lord Sphere. I guess that since you figured out my plan, I'll just have to kill you all. Well, not Zach. I need him alive until DeMarcus is healed. Gamgee, kill them. Start with the girl. Not so fast, said Alkaline. We have the stones. What? Said Lord Sphere. What? Shouted Zach and Ryan. Where? Said Zach. When did you get them? I had them all along, said Alkaline. I knew if I gave them to him after he got the mark back, he would kill us all. So I delayed coming up with a plan. What about Dale? Asked Ryan. Did he know you had the stones? No, said Alkaline. I went to him because he turned on the Sentinels a long time ago. This allowed me to take care of some business as well as delay while I thought up a plan. I knew he would show his true colors if I asked him to help us find the stones. Congrats on finding one of my moles, said Lord Sphere, clapping his hands that sent a loud bang like thunder every time his hands hit. Anyway, we've gotten off topic. Since you have the stones, hand them over, and I will let you go. Well, except Alkaline and DeMarcus. They will remain my prisoner and tell me the locations of all the rubble bases, or die. What about us? Asked Violet. Without Alkaline, how will we get home? He will open the gateway once I have what I want, said Lord Sphere. You all will get to go and never see any of my men or me again. It's not like you should care. This is not your world. Now, Alkaline, the stones, please. Fine, said Alkaline, grabbing a small bag from his belt and threw it to Sphere. Sphere caught the bag, untied it, and opened it. He glimpsed inside before looking up at Alkaline. They are real, said Lord Sphere. Zach, would you please come over here, and we will finish you and your friend's involvement. Zach did not move at first. He was very hesitant. He was not sure what was going on. Alkaline had lied the whole time about the stones and put them in danger just so he could come up with a plan. Even after all that, the plan he came up with did not work, and here they are. After a few moments, Zach saw Alkaline looking at him and nodded to him to do whatever Sphere said. Something was strange. It was like Alkaline was expecting to get caught and had something planned just in case. Something he did not share with him and Ryan. Doing as told, Zack walked over to Sphere and stopped a few feet from him. Turn around. I'm going to try to remove it without the stones. It's been a few days, and Demarcus might have healed enough to come out. If it doesn't work, I will use the stones. Whatever, said Zack, turning to face Alkaline, Ryan, and Violet. I just wanted to get this over with. Once Zack had his back to him, Sphere walked up to him, pulled out the strange metal pen, raised it, and placed it right on the red dot under the upside-down crescent moon. As soon as the pen touched it, the make began to glow with light blue tint. The longer Sphere held it, the brighter it became. The mark became so bright that he turned his head. A few moments later, Sphere dropped the pen and it hit the floor and rolled past Zack's foot. He turned and saw that it was glowing white and could feel the heat coming from it through his shoes. I guess not enough time has passed for Demarcus to heal, said Lord Sphere. That will change in a few moments. Sphere reached into the bag and pulled out all 5 stones. Each stone was about an inch in length and flat. Each stone had a different color. One was blue, pink, purple, yellow, and orange. He began placing them around Zack, placing each stone the same distance from one another. When he placed the 3rd stone down, he picked up his pen at the same time. It was back to normal and was no longer hot. When Sphere finished placing the last stone on the floor, it formed a circle. Being done, Sphere stood up and looked at the stones. He held his hand over the stone right in front of him, and it lit up, giving off an orange glow. A few moments after the stone lit up, the other 4 did as well, each giving off a glow of its color. The glow of the stones slowly began to grow brighter. After several moments, the stones were so bright Zack had to close his eyes. He could not bear to keep them open. The light coming from the stones was so bright that it hurt his eyes. The glow continued to grow brighter and surrounded Zack. Once he was completely engulfed in light, it began to swirl around him. The colors swirled around him slowly but began to gain speed. This continued for several minutes, and suddenly, light from the stones exploded with a bright flash, blinding everyone in the room. It took several minutes for everyone to be able to see again. Zack opened his eyes and saw that the light was from the stones was gone. Sphere looked and saw that the stones were back to normal. He looked up and saw that Zack's neck and the mark were no longer red but black. It's black, said Sphere. Should only turn black when Demarcus leaves. He's not in the room, said the Game G, stepping forward to see the mark for himself. I'm not stupid, said Lord Sphere. Could he have gotten out of this room while we could not see? Said Game G. I guess it's possible, said Lord Sphere. Send some guards to check the castle. If he is here, he won't get far. Am I done? Said Zack, turning to face Lord Sphere. No, said Lord Sphere, backhanding him. Zack fell to the floor from the force of Sphere's backhand. It's not strong, but Zack was off balance when he did it. Sphere turned to see Game G come back into the room and walked right over to Sphere. Some guards outside said no one came out of the room, said Game G. Either he is in the room, or he is still in the mark, trying to play a trick on us. Get up, said Lord Sphere. I need to try to remove the mark again. Don't move, said Alkaline, standing behind Lord Sphere, pushing the tip of his blade into the lower part of his back, enough to know if he tries anything, he would kill him. Gamegee, you move, he's dead. How did you get there? Said Gamegee. He has been slowly moving while we were distracted, trying to figure out if Demarcus was here, said Lord Sphere. He started moving the moment we were all blinded. I knew you were coming this whole time. Sure, said Alkaline. If that were true, you would have stopped me. I have, said Lord Sphere. Sphere leaps forward, turning to his left. Alkaline sees and shoves his sword, but it is too late. Sphere turned his body enough that the sword caught only part of his tunic. Alkaline lost balance, stumbled, as Sphere came back around, swept out his legs, sending him to his back. He hit with a thud and dropped his sword. Sphere pulled his sword and placed it to his throat. I do believe I told you that I would kill you if you tried something like this, said Lord Sphere. Guess I will only have one sentinel to question instead of two. Sphere went to thrust his blade into Alkaline's neck, but just before he could, a bright flash appeared behind Violet and Ryan. They turned to see that the gateway Sphere had closed had reopened. Sphere quickly looked at Alkaline, who was just as shocked as he was. He turned his attention to the gateway, as did everyone else. Moments later, out walked a tall, old, gray man with white hair. Zack was shocked. It was the man he saw coming through as he entered the gate to come to Eilira.
All right, Adam. All right, lay it on me. Lay it on me. Burn me to the ground.
Look, we've made this comment in the last episode or two that Alkaline's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
Yeah.
What was the point of the story?
Oh, I know. It was a dream all along, but instead of a dream, he had the stones.
He had the stones.
Even before he came to found out what was going on with Zack.
Yeah.
Apparently.
He's had them the entire time.
When I said did I not live up to saying the reveal was going to be far worse?
Oh, this is just someone. This almost feels like a writer went, I'll have him have it. He's, they've always been there. And, I needed the MacGuffin.
No.
Except it doesn't work that way.
No, I'm pretty sure that was how I outlined it. And
why?
And Sphere playing games was something I added when I realized it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
For this whole thing to happen, so I was trying to justify the story. Separate. If you take the motive out and put it as a pure element of character, works. Put it into this story, doesn't work because it's an explanation for why to justify the story. Now, if the whole point of them getting on their own before getting the task or something like that, then you can justify that as it was the story more, and it's actually grounded in Sphere's love of hunting people so he can have fun because he's bored.
Well, there is another way that this could have, that Alkaline having the stones actually worked for the entire story.
Okay.
Is that he needed the stones originally to get DeMarcus out of the mark.
Yep, but that is not the reason why.
But that is not the reason why.
But he doesn't know. But the thing is, it does this also thing is he has him already when he didn't know DeMarcus was in the mark.
Exactly. It should have been a different way. And
oh, I know. Oh, I know. And I can't tell you for the fact that I ever changed it.
Yeah, I know.
I think I do change it in other drafts of this, but I cannot tell you for a fact.
But other than that, let's get on to how we work through this chapter.
Oh, and by the way, wow, I actually gave a description of a location for a change.
Yes, you did.
And actually paint a nice picture for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I see a big ass room in there.
Good on me. Only if I did that for the entire novel.
It's for me, that room is it's awkwardly large. Like the fireplace with the chairs in front of it, like the two walls to the sides of that are far enough apart that you could have, in my mind anyway, two more fireplaces and two more sitting areas where you're like, it's just a lot of empty space. And then like the other side of the room, because Zack does make the comment that it's about the size of his house. Yeah. I was like, the other side of the room has just a bed over there, and it looks comically small in that spot.
This tower is a wide tower.
It also, it's definitely bigger on the inside technology.
Yes, exactly. But I always kind of looked at this tower this is a tower for a special guest. Okay. Like if another lord came to visit, this is where they're staying.
Typically in palaces, rooms that were not meant to be halls were never this big.
Oh, I know. But also we're in a fantasy world though with magic, so
exactly.
But so it's one of those things. It's just, and I did the one thing that I do remember when I wanted to put Violet in here. It was another way to distinguish Lord Sphere from just being I'm the evil bad guy.
Yeah, no, he
I think in later drafts I actually justify why Violet is in the dungeon, because Spirit isn't there. Gimji is there,
And he put her down
He
there.
put her down there, and when he learns this, he pulls her out. It's also about the time, because they actually go to, the palace, I believe, in future drafts,
Okay.
instead of going to this random spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the time they realize it, it's they're there, so they just pull her out. But then she goes not back to the dungeon, goes to this room, because while the Seven Lords technically are evil,
Oh yeah, they're the bad guys.
but this one shows he has
He's
compassion.
not cruel.
He's cruel. No, he is.
Well.
He's cruel to his enemies.
Right.
Cruel to people who are the rebels. But he's like, why should I care about this person and be cruel to her? She got caught up in something that she shouldn't have ever got caught up with.
Exactly.
If I want to be that evil, like with how the rebels make me out to be, I can do that. But get me what I want, send them home. I don't have to deal with them. I don't want anything to do with that world. I'm happy with where I am now.
I'm here to
Maybe.
manage this place. I have a city to take care of.
That's the thing I also try to figure out is like, you never get a sense of Lord Spirit ever having plans or
No.
something, and that made me not upset. It's just like you're supposed to. The villain has to have a plan, and you're trying to stop that plan.
In this, it's more the villain's like, hey, I want my stuff back.
In Clock of Ages, he does have a plan. Not just it, and why he seeks out the Clock of Ages, part of his plan, and it does involve the main antagonist.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's just unfortunate he just dies before he can. But someone else might pick it up. Another lord might pick it up in those.
I'm just glad that Violet's back.
Yes, but we do get in there. We see the room that she's not actually a real prisoner, which shocking. Not a comment from Zach on that.
Nope. Nothing. He says nothing about it.
And I'm back to giving directions for everything out of him. Violet pulls the covers off, puts her feet on the ground, and stands up. Yep, back to that.
Yep, there was a lot of that.
And I even do that with Zach getting
And
dressed.
Ryan.
But
Well, Zach getting dressed, but yeah.
But the thing is, it's more justified with Zach a little bit with his shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he just goes too much.
I mean, you still, did all of that.
Yeah.
Put his shoes on the floor. Put his feet
Yeah,
in his shoes.
That's what gets but focusing on his shoulder. Okay, well, then he once his shoulders are taken care of, he quickly got dressed on. Finally, threw his shoes on the ground, and then put them on. He was done. That's all that was needed. But no, I got every single detail in there.
The other fun part is the whole, Alkaline then immediately being like, all right, I'm opening up a portal.
Oh, no, hold on. You're jumping ahead of yourself.
Not really.
Yes, there's a very important thing here that we need to talk about.
What?
Zach staring again.
Yeah.
Ryan gets in on the action, staring at Violet. Ryan should have shoved Zach out of the way, kissed Violet, and then tell her, "I've never hurt you like Zach has."
What the hell? You just made up some fan fiction right there.
I know, but when you think about it, he's like, he really should have been like, you know what, Zach, you had your chance. My turn.
No.
After all
That'll be later.
After all you put her through, Ryan realized like, oh yeah, she is a girl, and she's actually pretty cool. And I think I might actually have some feelings for her. And go like, my turn, but no, of course not.
No.
Of course, in the whole kissy, almost kissy. I do like Alklin's lines like, you two can do that when you're not, our lives not on the line.
Yeah.
But of course, and then as you were saying, as for Alklin.
Oh, yeah, let me open up the portal. We don't know where it'll be. And Zach going, why not just use the coins again? Derp.
Yep.
And he's like, but You have the coin.
But
They're
honestly,
not both in the same world.
that's justified because Alcon doesn't know knowledge that Jack doesn't know, and as long as he thinks the coin is here,
Yeah.
it makes sense. But
But Zach's like, I think I just left it on the ground.
yeah,
Which now means that there's a possibility that someone came along and picked that up and it's in their pocket
Yep.
or in a chest somewhere.
or drawer,
A drawer.
or better yet, in a bank vault somehow.
What the hell?
Oh, oops.
This is going to be really difficult to explain.
Yeah.
No, it's probably sitting, like some raccoon picked it up in the woods and ran it off to their, like, hidey
It's
hole.
in their guts.
It's inside an animal. They accidentally ate it.
Yep, and it explodes
Just
there.
immediately, the portal opens and they just get cut in half.
Yep. But so it's kind of, it is justified, but at the same time, as how stupid Alcon is, I can understand. It's like, no, you're just an idiot, Alcon.
Yeah, he is.
But
I do have to say, after we get the portal open,
yep,
Lord Sphere does a smooth job of just showing up and
Yeah.
being like, no, I'm closing the door. No. You're not leaving until I get my mark back.
you mean Lord Sphere was there actually there the entire time, and it was a trap? Wow.
It was,
No.
It was always a trap.
In other words, in the famous words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
You gotta believe it, man.
By the way, after we find out the old man is Gamgee,
Yeah.
and Gamgee dropped some truth bombs, which Alcon should have stopped him from doing. Really.
Like, dude, yeah, you just let me out. You let me talk about. You let me go find
He should have
Sphere.
stopped. I mean, like, he should have, like, when I think he should have stopped, not stopped him from telling the truth bomb. Like, back in the dungeon, said, no, you want out, you tell us, so we know.
Yeah.
It,
He's still an idiot.
Yep. But, like, he should have stopped it. And wow, he had the stones that we recovered multiple times the whole time. What the fuck was I thinking? What the fuck? I will give myself some. I'll let myself go from a little bit because this was my first time planning out a story and and all that. But still, looking back, I was like, oh my god, that is the dumb. It's like, again, it was a dream all along, or it's like starting a novel after someone wakes up from a dream. After the thing is a dream, and then they wake up, and that's at the start of your novel.
I mean, right away after like Lord Sphere is just like, hey, you know what? I'm getting everything I wanted now. This is cool. Once this is over, you kids can get out of here.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You mean a villain was telling the truth the entire time,
Yeah.
and actually doesn't give a shit about people who have nothing to do? He just wanted his stuff back that was stolen from him.
Yeah.
Kind of refreshing.
I kind of like this as a villain.
Also, by the way, after we got to go back a little bit. To
why?
Auckland had the stones the entire time.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was trying to come up with a plan the entire time. And this was the best thing he came up with?
Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Here's a little thing before we don't find out if DeMarcus actually left his son or not. He escaped, DeMarcus escaped, and he left his son, some father. Or as I wrote here, so father, but it was supposed to be some father.
Yeah.
I just forgot to add the last two letters before writing father.
I like the fact that it took you an entire page to tell us that the stones worked.
Yeah.
But after,
Or
like,
did they work? We
or
actually
did they?
don't
Yeah.
know, actually. The mark turned from red to black.
so that meant that DeMarcus left it.
Something happened. But if you have no basis of that's what means DeMarcus Max, Sphere is just assuming that means it. He could be doing something that, using an ability that might tell him why from someone else, or something like that. Who knows?
I just love the fact that Lord Sphere, after the bright flash goes off, knows exactly what's going on. And he's like, yeah, I mean, also the fact that before it went off,
Yep.
he can see Alkaline, Ryan, and Violet,
Yep.
and where Zach is. Flash goes off. He can still see Zach, Ryan, and Violet. I wonder where where Alkaline went. Oh, that's right. I know he's behind me.
Yeah. Alkaline thinking he has sphere. Wow.
No.
Alkaline is not that smart in this draft.
No, he's not. And he's not a good fighter
No,
either.
he's really not.
Like, he immediately...
which is gonna really be when we find out his true rank.
Sphere, like, outdoes him by just stepping forward
Yep.
and turning.
Now we do have a little bit of a plot twist at him. The man that came out of the portal finally returns. Yet Zach says he somehow saw him leaving the portal.
But
the portal.
The way it was written,
he
Zach
came out,
went through and the guy came this
out,
way.
Yeah, out. So
When did he see him?
Yeah, when did he see him?
When?
Yeah, but he finally returns.
Yeah, that dude showed up.
It's kind of hard
Yay.
to.
Why?
We'll find out in the next chapter.
Well,
we gotta find out
With
something.
2 chapters
I know.
left. Why are you introducing characters?
I know I'm not. I interested in earlier in the book.
No.
Just didn't do any comparative.
This is the second time he's shown up. Who is this person? You should have told us already.
I actually don't think we find out in this book.
Oh my God.
I think this book we leave it off to find out, and we find out in the next book. But it's to leave
I
the
am
mystery.
already figuring out that this entire story
It was pointless.
is if DeMarcus didn't put the mark on Zach, none of this book would have happened.
So kind of like Indiana Jones and the
In the Temple of Temple of Doom. No,
I can never remember the title.
Lost Ark.
Lost Ark. Yeah. Serves no point to the story whatsoever. Exactly.
If he didn't do anything, they still would have gone to the wrong spot.
No, they still would have gotten it and
Yep.
taken it to the island and melted their faces off.
Oh no! It also would have taken longer for them to get to it.
No, because the reason why they don't get it is because Indy gets the jewel. If Indy's not in there, they get the jewel first.
They were already digging in the wrong spot. He
Nope.
went someplace else,
Nope.
which
Well,
they would have
they-
found
they were-
anyway.
they were digging in the wrong spot because they didn't have the jewel. They were going to get the jewel. If Indy doesn't have the jewel, they find the jewel. They dig in the right spot. They still take it to the island, open it.
Oh
melt
yeah,
their
that
faces.
still would have.
So it's still like Indy serves no purpose in that movie.
The U.S.
Kinda like-
government wouldn't have gotten it though.
Yes, that's the only difference.
The only difference.
And actually, in the Big Bang Theory, when this is all pointed out, then they watch it again at the end of the episode. It's like, no, he brings it to the Warhouse. And he's like, yeah, he did this. It's like, and then learns like, but he was supposed to bring it to a museum so they could study it. And
Yeah.
he couldn't even get that done.
Nope.
Oh man.
He still failed.
Yeah. Yeah, the government gets it, but the wrong people. Not what he was supposed to do with it.
No, he was supposed to go to a museum.
And the same thing with Zach.
Yep. Yeah.
If DeMarcus was such a tool in fumbling up his own, getting the mark that he was stealing and getting
also-
discovered, this wouldn't have happened.
It would have been also nice if DeMarcus showed up a lot more in like Zach's mind, or had more conversations with Zach. Like, hey, I know I'm still healing. My life force is quite low. I gotta build that back up.
Well,
'cause-
the reason why we don't get it is because what I've been built, I set it up is every time he does talk to him, it uses up that uses that up. So not doing it lets him recover faster.
Yeah, it's been too long already. Even though I'm willing to bet it's been like a week.
Yeah.
I think timeline-wide, it has been a week. So, yeah, he's just been resting for a week.
And I can tell you this: in Clock of Ages, we do get lots more Sphere.
Okay, good.
And everything. Not that he's actually there, but I came up with a way that he can still talk to Zach.
Yeah.
And stuff like this, like so we can get more of a character involvement with Sphere. But yeah, that's like I said. This when I remembered this when I got to them, like, oh, I forgot I had this stupid thing. and I started thinking, did I ever fix this? I want to say I did in other drafts, but other than the Clock of Ages, I can't be sure.
Okay.
I honestly cannot be sure. I have to go through one of those drafts, and I don't know if I want to, because it's literally just this, hopefully written a little bit better.
All right.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
But, so how do we fix this one?
First of all,
First off, at least for me, what I said last time for fixing it, either put the last chapter in with this chapter, or break it off once they find out where Violet is.
Yeah.
Put that in the chapter before that chapter,
Could've
and
been.
the rest of it into this chapter.
yeah, that would work too.
But anyway, you were saying?
There's a few things like, meeting Violet. Hey,
Yep.
Violet. That's cool. That's perfectly fine. Lord Spear showing up, cool. My only thing is, Alkline would have immediately drawn his sword.
Mm-hmm.
Zach and Ryan would have reached for theirs and then been like, oh, where is it? They
Nah.
should still have their swords on them.
No.
They should have immediately drawn them and like, I'm going to fight you.
No, because they've changed out of their clothes. They don't have
But
them
where did the weapon go? Where did their swords go?
on the floor.
They just left it there?
Yeah. But they're not also, they haven't had them long enough to have that, even in like a week, to get that instinctive to draw and even go like, oh yeah, I
that's
took
true.
it off. It hasn't been that much time.
I still would have thrown it in because Zach is that cool.
And the third one is, let me guess, more Highlander.
Well, of course.
'Cause we got
there
no-
should have been a fight between Gamgee and Alkline.
Well, we did. It just ended
No,
really
that was
quickly.
that was between Spear and Alkline.
Oh yeah, and that ended really quickly because
just tripped.
because how stupid Alkaline is in this draft.
And he dropped his sword and skittered away.
Lord Spear should have said like, I should have picked up his sword and like, these are for people who know what they're doing with them, or like really scolded him like,
Yeah, they should have just looked down on him and like, dude, you are terrible at this. I can always know what you're doing. You should have hinted more heavily that given basically the character not revealing, but saying things that people go, wait a second,
yeah.
can you read minds? No, I just know what you're
Way
going
to
to say.
spoil the next few chapters. Yeah, he can read minds.
Otherwise, he has an aura ability
Yes.
that can sense everything around him.
It's possible, but and there's no auras in this.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, he can read minds. That's the
Okay.
thing. Is why. He knew even before the flash really happened. He knew what Alkaline was basically gonna do.
Yeah, because he calls him out. He's like, "You do not want to attack me.
Yep.
Don't do it. It's just going to end in your death."
Yep.
And
Because
one thing he didn't realize was that there was going to be somebody walking out of a random portal that showed back up after he shut down the original portal.
Yep.
Which means that somebody else opened that portal.
Yeah, it was the person who was walking through it.
Whoa.
Obviously, like he figured out, he opened it up.
He's been standing on the other side trying to open the portal for so long now. And he's like, it needs to be put on the ground. Just put it on the ground. Just put it.
No.
Finally, somebody puts that
because-
coin on the ground. And he's like, I opened it.
Well,
Yes!
first off, you gotta remember that is the portal that came through originally that he comes out of.
Yeah.
Was not from the coin. It was one that was linked to.
So
the
where is
location.
the coin in the on Earth?
Though it's a plot hole because the coin was in Zach's room when Alkaline
Yeah.
shows up. Unless I forget, they took it and they brought it out, but he put it on the ground, and Alkaline says, "I can't use that because that coin will be wherever that coin is. We need to go to."
Yeah.
So I think it might be there. We'd have to go back. I'd have to go back through to check it.
Where are
But I do think I do actually now. I think that he did do that.
Okay, I
But
know
I'm
that
not
they're
sure.
gonna get back, and we'll figure out where they are when they get back.
Well, they're going to the coin. No, they go back through the coin, and they're in the woods behind Greater Plains.
Okay, so that's where the other coin was.
yeah, but
Which means that this
whether-
mystery man
whi-
has been sitting out there in the woods for like a week now.
but doesn't know that the coin's there. So I think what we find out here's a potential spoiler for the next chapter, but is because he can't open up. He doesn't know how to open up his own portal. But when he senses the portal open originally, he has better sense where it is. He finds the coin, knows what the coin is, and he is able to then open it up
Okay.
that way. I think that's my justification. We'll find out when we read the next episode and we read the chapter.
Exactly.
Or maybe it's not until the final chapter. Who knows? We'll find out. but yeah, my other things was just this. Give more explanation. Maybe not have Sphere reveal himself here into Gamgee revealing him, and get more of a chase sequence where you get stopped by running into Sphere. And it's revealed that no, he has been here the time, and you could play it off did he just get back and just know what's going on?
No,
and then he's revealed, no, this is a trap. I've been waiting for you.
I've been waiting for you. I actually told Gamegee to chase you into this room so that I can talk to you because I didn't want to leave.
I didn't want to go up all those stairs to the 3rd floor.
I think that would be better. Is that the entire time he really is just like, I made you come to me.
Yeah.
What do you think? I know everything that goes on.
Yeah. So, but I would maybe a little bit more action, or maybe not like Alkaline showing some brains. Like, well, technically, yes, here is in a bad place, but we don't know who might come back in here. And,
Exactly.
and they seeing a light show through that closed door. If they come back, they're gonna come in and check.
Probably.
So why don't we go back into the secret passage where we can close it, where no one knows how to get in, and then we're actually somewhat safe.
Exactly.
Interruption.
But no.
So, because that's what better way to get back to the dungeon, and Lord Sphere is right at the path, the secret passage, waiting for them. That's a more of a shock. Oh, wait, what?
Yeah.
I
also like the idea of bringing him to the Lord's office.
Yeah.
And he's just like, good. I see you have all arrived precisely at the time that I wanted you to. Like,
I think even in Clock of Ages this still plays out in the tower, but the climax does not take place in the tower. In Clock of Ages, that they actually go back to the Clock of Ages for the climax to happen there.
Okay.
So, like, there's a few more chapters. There's a few more chapters added on to this sequence instead of just 2. There's like 3 or 4, maybe. 4.
Okay.
Before it, but when we get to that one, we read that and
one day we'll
season
read that.
56.
We'll come back to it.
Yeah. But yeah, just adding a little bit more. Adding maybe actually hearing the guards come back and they have to hide.
Yeah.
Or take them out and decide, you know what? Maybe it's because they're on alarm. We don't know if they're gonna. These guys were told to come back. Let's get somewhere safer, like the passage. And then we'll open the portal. The porterhouse. Wait, you're gonna open
We're opening a steak.
No, not just that. We're gonna open a beer.
No, that's just porter.
Oh, porter. Oh, okay.
Porterhouse is a steak.
Yeah, that's right. The steak is the porterhouse. Porter is a beer.
Yes.
Like you're gonna give them a beer. You're gonna get a porter and a porter steak. Porterhouse steak.
You know what? That doesn't sound that bad, actually.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that's my main thing. Because actually, how things play out for the most part is really good. It's just maybe giving a little more smarts to Alkaline.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that. But again, I still hold by Ryan should have shoved Zach out of the way. It's in my turn.
I don't think so. I think Ryan is clearly done with everything that's going on. He just wants to go home and go to bed.
That's why he does it. He's so done with it. He's so done with Zach. He wants
kiss Zach instead.
He gets the girl. No, he gets the girl and find out that Ryan's the main character the whole time.
Yes. In the last chapter, we find out Ryan's the main character.
But no. So, anything else you want to add to this episode?
No.
Okay,
that's everything.
Let's wrap this up. Since you made it here, or assuming you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts about the stupidity of having Alkaline have the stones the entire time down in the comment section. please go on like a rant and really rip me to this.
Yeah,
And yes,
let 'em know.
remember, this was my second book, but still, even I'm saying I deserve to be ripped on for that decision.
Yeah, that was kind of crappy.
Yeah, that was really bad. I should, even as a new plotter, I should have known that was bad. And clearly did when I was writing it because I tried to justify it.
You tried.
I tried. Interesting justification. Doesn't work because it's clearly just trying to justification. But that was Spears' motivation and how, the type of character he was for the get-go. And we saw that. Cool. But clearly not. It's clearly justifying Alkaline having the stones the entire time. But yeah, anyway, comment down below. Since you made it here, we're again like you're still listening. So why not? Why would you if you didn't like it? So why don't you help us out and smash that like button and do it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because I got writing content on this channel, which is on screen now. That's best for you. But maybe you need to laugh at fully grown adults in their 40s trying to play video games and failing. Go check out Adam's channel. Adam,
ZOP Gaming. We play games.
really? I thought you were writers.
Whatever, man.
You forgot your tagline. The quotes about pro.
I mean, I'm trying out different ones constantly.
Yeah, they don't work.
Yeah,
just stick
we're
with the pros. The pro one works.
We're just going with everything.
Okay, but yeah, there's a link to his channel on screen as well as my content. Pick something. We'll see you there. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.